when you take down a house and there's no fridge or appliances, who fills those?
I usually have my tenants fill them.
Okay, so you say you fill it, you don't care if
Nope.
there's an empty fridge.
You get it as is. If you look at my paperwork, if there's appliances in there, I am not responsible for them. If they quit or break, they have to replace them. However, when they move out, they also have to make sure that there is appliances back in there. So I furnish them, but they can't just take them when they leave either.
And then how do you claim like kind of ownership if they buy the stove and they have to leave it?
No, if they bought it, so we put it right on the lease that there was no refrigerator, no stove, that kind of stuff. So when they leave, they can take it. Yeah, that's all in the paperwork. You got to spell that out.
And then speaking of leaving, so when they break a lease, so they have to leave at year 4. What does that look like? Is there a refund? Do you keep the proceeds? Like,
nope. The option is a non-refundable option fee, so they lose it 100%. We don't have any deposits, so there is no deposit to return. And that's why there's 2 separate pieces of paper right on the lease. It says there is 0 deposit, so you don't have to hold that in a separate account or anything. The option fee becomes mine. And then of course we try to get them to pay rent to the end when they leave, and we just say goodbye and leave the place in good shape. Leave it like they found it. So most of the time, I mean, it's probably 25% we'll get them back like shit. Especially if we have to evict them for some reason. If they have to move because of a life event, then they usually take care of the place and it's in decent shape when we leave.
Yeah, and that's my next follow-up is how many of them actually make it to the contract? So out of 50% make it, 40% leave. What is
20
it?
maybe make it to a seller finance
deal. The rest of them have life events and have the boogie. Okay.
Yep.
So it's a no-brainer win. Like,
yeah, it just turns around and repeats again. I just got possession of one right now in Akron, Ohio that they've been there for like 4 years or something, and he disappeared. I think he's in rehab for drugs and alcohol, and so he had to leave the property, and we just got it back through we went through the court proceedings. Obviously it didn't show. We got the house back and we're cleaning it up. It needs a real light clean and reselling it again.
Holy crap. I love it. How do you structure your business? Because right now you have Home Solutions AZ. Does the AZ portion of it, because you are nationwide, does that harm you? Does that help you? How do you structure? Do you have different LLCs? How does that work?
So my structure is really strange. AZ&L, well, Home Solutions is just a marketing company. So it started with Home Solutions AZ simply because Home Solutions was taken nationwide, but I don't market with that. So when we actually do our acquisitions company is Easy Home Sale. And that's nationwide.
That's inbound.
That's all
the PPC. Okay.
Yeah. When it's outbound, it is Home Solutions, but it doesn't matter because the town or the units are in whatever town they are, and nobody even cares about it, even though all the properties are owned by a different LLC. And it's just an umbrella type for liability.
Holding.
Yep. It's just a holding company. It is and it isn't. The money still has to flow through there. So it's really strange how I have it set up. So the dispositions has an LLC with no bank account. Acquisitions has an LLC with no bank account. They both have EINs, but they're just a disregarded entity. And then all my properties are owned in separate LLCs, and my CPA and attorney let me keep up to 5 properties per LLC, which that's not suggested. You should have 1 LLC for every property for limited liability stuff. But because I keep them leveraged and I take that risk tolerance, so that's our decision to do. The key is I have a management company. So that's another LLC, and that's where all of our money flows through. Whether it's doing it from an assignment from a wholesale or an ovation, or all the rents comes into there, and then it gets funneled into each of the individual house LLCs, and then it jumps up to a holding company LLC, and then it funnels from there into my personal LLC that is an S corp to shelter all the rest of it.
Got it. confusing. And so because I have 4 rentals and all 4 have their own LLC, and it's a pain to do taxes for all 4.
Yep.
Complete pain. So you just have to. Is that just the pain of doing business?
So no. So what I do is, even though they're owned by separate LLCs, I have a holding company that owns all of them. So I only have to file 1 tax return at the end of the year.
Okay.
Makes it a lot easier. So you could form a holding company for those 4 and just funnel it all into the holding company to file the tax returns.
Okay.
And talk to your CPA about it.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it for me for now.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool. Aaron, how are you doing?
Dealing with the scumbag, bum ass squatter that came into the fucking house that I'm trying to lease option.
Oh, geez.
Hopefully this guy doesn't use the cabinets as firewood like the last asshole.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. What city is this in?
Columbus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got a similar situation going on in Tucson right now. That I bought this house in 2017, and it's a house with a casita. And in 17, it was a great area. And now it's gang heaven down there. And it just went vacant. I've had it broke into 3 times in the last week. And I went, I'm done. I'm selling it. We put it on the market last Friday at a meetup. And the guy at the meetup called us Monday, or actually Saturday, wrote the contract, and it closes this Friday. So it's out of my fucking hair. I'm done with it. But I gave it away because I don't want to deal with it anymore. Yeah, squatters are tough. And, in Arizona, it's pretty easy because we can just call the police and say, hey, somebody broke and entering, and they're trespassing. And the police will go trespass them right out of there and arrest them. So it's easy in Arizona.
Leaves it, I might just have to end up selling it. So we'll see.
Yeah, so that's one thing I have done is through my portfolio is as the properties become problem childs. I had one in Macon, Georgia, kind of the same thing. Once it went vacant, it was a decent area, but now it's gone Gangsville, and I dumped that one too. But I did it with seller financing. So I still get payments on it. But then the one in Tucson, I'm selling it cash and just get rid of it. Yeah, so yeah, don't keep problem childs. Get rid of them because it'll just continue to be worse.
Yeah, I noticed once they're vacant for like over a month, then people they find out somehow and I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah, you could get like just some type of security camera and hide it, and so it alerts you when somebody's on site, and that way you can call the police right away to get them out there to get them arrested, get them out. That's a quick way to do it. Or if you got a good maintenance guy like I do in Tucson, I call him and he goes running over there right away the minute we know somebody's on site. But he's calling the police and meeting them with the police. Last night they were broke in again, and there was 10 cop cars there, guns drawn, going into the place.
You know what you can do is you can buy cell trail cameras that they use for hunting, and they're pretty fairly cheap. They're like $119, and then you pay like $25 a month, and those will alert you on your phone as soon as they're tripped.
Yep.
And they have night vision.
Yep.
That requires internet connection though, right?
No, you're paying for a cell service, so it's just a camera. You put batteries in it and then set it up wherever you want, and they get tripped like regular cameras. And then it'll tell you whatever service you can get right on the package, and it's like 22 or $25 a month per camera.
Oh, yeah. What's it called again?
Sorry,
what's it called again?
Just Google cell trail cam.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man.
They use them for hunting all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what's going on with me right now.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. Do you have boots on the ground in Columbus?
I do.
Okay, well, that helps. But yeah, you might have them go put one of those cameras up so and do the police know that you have a squatter in there?
No, so my guy is gonna go there tomorrow. He's gonna call the cops and then see what happens.
Okay. Yep.
So
yeah, get on it fast so they don't take up permanent residence.
Yeah.
So cool. You got anything else, man?
That's it.
That's it. That's bad enough, right?
Yeah.
That sucks. Sorry to hear that, but it happens. Get out of that area, move on if you can.